If we're taking a look at this spinner problem here, we have these two spinners up top, and what we want to do is we want to make a tree model from that tree diagram. So we have our spinner 1, and these three options right here are representing our first spinner. So as you can see, we have I is 1/2, U is 1/6, and A is 1/3. The problem here when we're looking at our tree diagram is that all three of these options look to be the same. In order to stop that from happening, what we're going to do is we're going to fill in along our path, we're going to fill in our probability here. So our probability for I is 1/2. So in order to represent, I'm going to write a 1/2 here next to I. Same thing then for U. I have a 1/6 here for U, and A is then going to be a 1/3. Once we do that, we can hopefully tell that all of these outcomes here at the end are not all 1/6. That is not the case. So we also then know from spinner 2 right here, and spinner 2 is represented here. Those are all of my spinner 2 options. We can see that the T value is 1/4 and the F value is 3/4. So I'm going to fill that in as well, which means this option right here in the very top, the possibility of spinning an I and then spinning a T is going to be represented by the 1/2 and then the 1/4. The possibility of spinning an I and then an F is going to be represented by a 1/2 and then a 3/4. So I'm going to fill in my 1/4 and my 3/4 all throughout here. Now I can go through and figure out all my different endings. So this one right here, this is representing the word IT, which does work for this problem. It is it. And when I multiply my fractions, I am multiplying 1/2 and 1/4. Now multiplying fractions, I multiply my numerators, which is 1, and I multiply my denominator, which is then 8. This spot right here is representing IF, which also works. So I multiply those. 1 times 3 is going to be 3. 2 times 4 is going to be 8. So if I continue that process and figure out what all my outcomes are here, I'm going to end up getting UT, UF, AT, and AF. My probabilities then for UT are going to be 1/24. UF is 3/24. AT is going to be 1/12. And AF is going to be 3/12. Since in this problem I'm only concerned with the words, the ones that make words, I can cancel out then a couple of these. I do not want that one, I do not want that one, I do not want that one. So my probability of winning is 1/8, a 3/8, and then a 1/12. So what I need to do now is I need to add those probabilities together. So 1/8 plus 3/8 plus a 1/12. I need to get a common denominator in order to multiply those, or add those together rather. So my common denominator is going to be 24. So a 1/8, in order to get that to be a denominator of 24, I need to multiply both the numerator and denominator by 3. So I'm going to get 3/24. Same thing for the 3/8, that's going to give me 9/24. And for my 1/12, I multiply both numerator and denominator by 2, giving me 2/24. That's giving me a total answer here of 24 still for the denominator, because when I add fractions, my denominator does not change. And my numerator is then going to be 14. That fraction can reduce down to 7/12. So it is a 7/12 probability of making a word. Looking at a different problem, it's problem 76 in the geometry book. So we have a couple different situations here. We first of all have two different bags. The first bag is containing squares right here, and the other one is going to be containing circles. So here's our circle bag as well. So looking at the two different bags, let's say you choose the square bag first. So I have yellow as an option. Now there are 3 yellows out of a possible 6 pieces. So that's going to be 3, 6 is yellow. I then have red, and there are 2 of those. It says 2/6 is going to be red. And then I have a blue option here, and that is 1/6 is going to be blue. That is all representing the square bag. From there, the person then reaches in and grabs one from the circle bag. So the circle bag has either yellow or red. So from each of these, if you choose yellow first, you still only have a yellow or red option. The yellow is 1 out of 3, and the red is 2 out of 3. If you choose a red one first, you still, for your second bag, have 2 options. Again, 1/3 and 2/3. And if your blue was your choice for your first one, you still have the same options here for the next one, which is again 1/3 and 2/3. Now I could go through and figure out all my final choices. So my final choice here and here and here and here. However, on this one I don't necessarily need to, because it's asking me a specific question. It's wondering what is the probability of choosing 1 blue square and 1 red circle. So that option is listed on the very bottom. Here's my blue square and here's my red circle. So to get that one, I am multiplying the fractions 1/6 and 2/3. So I'm going to get the possibility of 2 over 18. That will reduce down to 1 out of 9.